Do this every morning to destroy laziness forever. The moment you open your eyes, you're either commanding your morning or your morning is commanding you. Most people wake up and immediately surrender their power. They reach for the phone, scroll through distractions, and allow the world to tell them how to feel before they've even told themselves who they are. That's why so many people live reactive lives. They don't set the tone for their day. They let the day set the tone for them. But winners, achievers, and purpose-driven people do something different. They wake up with intention. They don't wait to feel ready. They decide they're ready. They understand that discipline is not about emotion. It's about decision. When you wake up, don't think, move. The longer you sit, the louder the voice of laziness gets. Laziness doesn't start in your body, it starts in your mind. It whispers excuses, it justifies delay, and it convinces you that 5 more minutes won't hurt. But 5 minutes of delay becomes a lifetime of average. You've got to move before you think. Roll out of bed, stretch, pray, breathe, drink water. Do something that signals to your body that you are awake and alive. Motion creates emotion. You can't wait to feel motivated. You move, and motivation follows. The next step is to speak life into your day. Your words carry power. You can either talk yourself into victory or talk yourself into defeat. Every morning, open your mouth and declare who you are and where you're going. Say, today I am focused. Today I am productive. Today I'm operating in excellence. Today I will not negotiate with laziness. Speak strength, energy, and gratitude into your morning. The moment you speak with intention, your mind begins to align with your words and your body begins to follow your mind. You're not just talking, you're programming your spirit for success. Before you feed your body, feed your mind. The average person wakes up hungry for food. The extraordinary person wakes up hungry for growth. Before you grab a plate, grab a book. Before you scroll, study something that feeds your faith, expands your thinking, or strengthens your mindset. What you feed will grow. If you feed distraction, laziness grows. If you feed discipline, focus grows. So every morning, choose your mental diet wisely. Read something empowering, listen to something uplifting, and meditate on wisdom that reminds you of your purpose. Because when your mind is strong, your excuses are weak. Then. Remind yourself of your vision. Every morning, revisit your why. Your vision is the fuel that drives your discipline. You can't destroy laziness without purpose because purpose gives pain a reason. Look at your goals. Visualize your future. See yourself walking in success, health, and abundance. Remind yourself of the dream you're chasing and the person you're becoming. When your vision is clear, your excuses disappear. People who forget their purpose fall into procrastination. Because they lose sight of what they're fighting for. When you wake up and reconnect with your destiny, you walk with energy that laziness can't compete with, and then do the hardest thing first. Don't wait until you feel like it. The hardest task is the key that unlocks the rest of your day. Attack it early. That one act builds confidence and momentum. Most people start with easy things to feel busy, but busyness is not productivity. Productivity means progress on what matters most. When you knock out the toughest challenge first, you silence the inner voice that wants to delay. You prove to yourself that you are in control. And that feeling of progress releases energy, not drains it. Destroying laziness isn't about never resting. It's about mastering yourself. It's about replacing emotion with execution, excuses with excellence, and delay with decision. Every morning is a chance to rewrite your story. You can either repeat yesterday or reinvent tomorrow. The choice happens in those first 30 minutes of your day. You don't need to wait for the perfect plan or the right time. You need to wake up with purpose, speak life, feed your mind, move your body, face your hardest task, and revisit your vision until it burns inside of you. If you do this every morning, laziness won't have a place to live in your life. You'll stop being a prisoner of comfort and become a steward of consistency. You'll rise before the world does, and the world will start to respond to the energy you carry. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, don't hit snooze, hit destiny. Because the only way to destroy laziness forever is to outdiscipline it, outspeak it, and outwork it every single morning. Command your morning before it commands you. Every day begins with a battle you don't see. A war between the version of you that wants to grow and the version that wants to stay comfortable. The second your eyes open, you are standing at a crossroads. You can either step into purpose or fall back into patterns. Most people don't lose to laziness because they don't have goals. They lose because they start the day without order, without intention, without a plan. The moment you wake up, your mind starts looking for direction. If you don't give it one, the world will. When you open your eyes, don't let your phone be the first thing that speaks to you. The first voice you hear should not be notifications, messages, or news. It should be the voice of your own command, the sound of you setting the tone for your day. Because the day doesn't shape you, your decisions do. If you don't take charge of your morning, you'll spend the rest of your day reacting instead of creating. The person who controls their morning controls their destiny. You've got to approach every morning like a CEO approaches their business, with purpose and structure. Before the world asks anything from you, decide what you expect from yourself. Don't just wake up and wander. Wake up and declare. E. Set the atmosphere for your day through your words, your movement, and your focus. The first 60 minutes of your morning are sacred. They decide whether you walk in power or drift in distraction. So ask yourself, what does commanding your morning look like for you? Maybe it means getting up early enough to think clearly. Maybe it means praying or meditating before the noise of the world enters your mind. Maybe it means writing down your goals and visualizing them as already done. Whatever it looks like, it has to come from intention, not emotion. You can't wait until you feel like leading your life. Leadership is a choice, not a feeling. When you rise with purpose, you silence confusion. When you start with clarity, you destroy chaos. The way you begin determines the way you finish. Every morning is an opportunity to declare who you are, what you believe, and where you're going. Command your morning, and your morning will obey. Command your energy, and your energy will serve your purpose. Command your focus, and your focus will move mountains. But if you let the morning command you, it will steal your power before the day even begins. Laziness thrives in disorder, but discipline thrives in design. So design your morning, protect it, guard it, make it a ritual that aligns your spirit, mind, and body. Because when you master your mornings, you master your life. First victory of the day is not out there in the world. It's in here, in the way you choose to start. Command your morning and watch your entire life fall into alignment. Brew, move before you think. The biggest mistake most people make in the morning is that they wait to feel ready before they act. But the truth is, if you wait to feel ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. Action doesn't follow motivation. Motivation follows action. The body leads and the mind follows. The moment you start moving, energy starts flowing. The moment you sit still, excuses start growing. Laziness is not a physical problem. It's a mental negotiation. Your mind will always try to talk you out of movement. It will whisper, you're tired, you need more sleep, you'll start tomorrow. But every time you obey that voice, you train your brain to delay. You build a pattern of postponement, and that pattern becomes your prison. The key to breaking out of it is simple. Move before your mind has a chance to argue. When the alarm goes off, get up. When the thought comes to delay, step forward anyway. Movement is your weapon against hesitation. Your body was designed to create momentum. When you move, blood flows, your brain awakens, and your spirit ignites. It doesn't have to be something grand. It could be stretching, a few push-ups, walking around, or even just standing tall and breathing deeply. But that small act signals something powerful to your mind. We're in control. You're telling your subconscious that you are the leader, not the follower of your emotions. The moment you start moving, your physiology changes, and so does your psychology. See, thinking is valuable when you're planning, but dangerous when you're procrastinating. Overthinking breeds inactivity. The more you analyze, the more reasons your mind finds to wait. But when you act first, you silence the noise. The body doesn't debate, it just does. And that simple shift can change your entire life. Because the difference between successful people and everyone else isn't that they never feel lazy, it's that they don't let laziness decide their actions. They move regardless of how they feel. You don't have to start perfect. You just have to start moving. Once you take that first step, clarity comes, confidence comes, creativity comes. Energy is created through motion, not meditation. So if you're feeling stuck, don't sit and wait for inspiration. Get up and create it. Walk into your goals. Don't think yourself into them. The body in motion stays in motion. That's not just physics, that's life. Every morning, make it your rule. Move first, think later. Because the moment you move, the fog lifts, the doubts fade, and the day begins to obey your command. Movement is the language of progress. It's how you tell the universe, I'm serious about my purpose. So when that lazy feeling shows up tomorrow morning, don't argue with it, outpace it, move before you think, and you'll never be trapped by hesitation again. Hey, Bruce, speak life into your day. The first voice you hear in the morning should be your own voice, speaking faith, power, and direction. Not fear, doubt, or distraction. Your words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every sentence you speak over yourself plants something in your spirit. And the harvest you reap later in the day comes from what you plant early in the morning. You cannot speak defeat and expect victory. You cannot speak laziness and expect progress. If you want to destroy laziness forever, you must use your words to command strength, clarity, and momentum. When you wake up, your mind is like fresh soil, ready to receive whatever you plant in it. Most people don't realize how powerful that first hour is. They start by complaining, checking messages, or worrying about problems, and those words set their emotional temperature for the day. You can't expect to feel powerful when you've been speaking weakness, so you have to become intentional with your language. Declare what you want to see, not what you fear will happen. Say, today I am focused. Today I am disciplined. Today I am walking in purpose. Today I will do what I said I will do. These are not empty affirmations. They are commands to your subconscious mind, instructions to your emotions, and declarations to your destiny. Your day responds to the words you speak. The universe is wired to echo your expectations. When you speak life, you awaken power. When you speak faith, you activate vision. When you speak discipline, you disarm laziness. Your words shift the atmosphere inside of you, for anything outside of you changes. You cannot wait for your environment to motivate you. You have to create that environment with your mouth. Speak light into dark moments. Speak victory into uncertain days. Speak energy even when you feel empty, because when you speak life long enough, your feelings start to follow your focus. You have to understand that what you repeatedly say becomes what you subconsciously believe. Every time you say, I'm tired, you give laziness authority. Every time you say, I can't, you invite failure. But every time you say, I'm capable, I'm ready, I'm blessed, you train your mind to look for opportunities instead of excuses. That's why successful people talk differently. Not because they're pretending, but because they know words build worlds. If you want to change your life, start by changing your vocabulary. Speak in alignment with your future, not your frustration. Even if you don't feel strong, speak strength. Even if you don't feel ready, speak readiness. Because your mouth can lead your mind out of any weakness. The more you declare who you are, the less power laziness has over you. Every morning, choose words that move you forward. Say what you want till you see what you've said. Speak life into your day until it becomes natural, until it becomes your rhythm, until your spirit automatically responds with power instead of passivity. When you learn to control your words, you learn to control your world. Because the first step to mastering your day is mastering your language. And when your words align with your purpose, laziness won't survive a single morning. Feed your mind before you feed your body. Every morning your spirit wakes up hungry, hungry for direction, for truth, for something to believe in. But most people wake up and only feed their stomachs, never their souls. They rush to breakfast but starve their minds. They scroll, they listen to noise, they consume distractions, and then they wonder why they feel empty, unfocused, and tired before the day even begins. You can't expect to walk in power when your mind is running on junk food. The first meal of the day shouldn't just fill your stomach, it should fill your spirit. Before you reach for food, reach for wisdom. Before you eat for strength, read for strategy. What you feed will grow. If you feed your distractions, they'll multiply. If you feed your purpose, it'll dominate your life. Every morning, take time to invest in your mindset, because a strong mind can carry a tired body, but a weak mind will collapse even when the body is rested. Feeding your mind doesn't always mean reading for hours or studying something complicated. It means being intentional about what you allow in. Watch, listen, or read something that awakens your focus and reminds you who you are. It could be a passage of scripture, a motivational message, a paragraph from a powerful book, or a few lines of your goals. The goal is to fill your mind with truth before teach. E-world fills it with noise, because if you don't train your thoughts will train you. When you begin your morning with wisdom, everything else aligns. Decisions become clearer, distractions lose their power, and discipline becomes easier. The words and ideas you consume early in the morning become the lens through which you see the rest of your day. If you fill your mind with negativity, the whole day looks heavy. But if you fill it with growth, faith, and gratitude, even challenges look like opportunities. Your mind is the engine of your destiny, and what you feed it determines how far it can go. Don't let your morning diet be full of gossip, fear, or comparison. Guard that space like your life depends on it, because it does. The greatest battles you'll ever fight will be in your thoughts, and the way you win them is by staying mentally nourished. A strong mindset gives you the energy to push when others quit. It reminds you that success begins inside before it ever shows up outside. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your coffee, reach for your calling. Before you scroll through messages, scroll through your mission. Remind yourself of who you're becoming. Fill your mind with purpose. Feed your spirit with truth, and let your thoughts rise higher than your circumstances. Because when you feed your mind before you feed your body, you give yourself the fuel to dominate your day, not just survive it. Revisit your vision daily. Every morning, you need to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Vision is the fuel that keeps discipline alive. Without vision, even the strongest person loses direction. You can't destroy laziness if you forget what you're chasing. Every goal, every dream, every plan needs a reason to exist. A purpose that burns so deeply it pulls you out of bed even when you don't feel like moving. When you lose sight of your vision, you start settling for comfort. But when your vision is clear, your excuses lose their voice. Every single day, take a moment to look at the picture of your future. It might be written in a journal, posted on a wall, or just alive in your imagination. But visit it every morning. See yourself walking in that reality. See yourself living in that blessing. See yourself operating at that higher level. The more you visualize it, the more real it becomes. Vision creates emotion, and emotion drives motion. When your vision is strong, you don't need motivation. You move because you're drawn toward destiny. Your mind needs to be reminded of where it's going. Life is full of noise, pressure, and distractions trying to pull you away from your purpose. If you don't revisit your vision, you'll slowly drift into routine instead of progress. That's how people end up stuck. Not because they lack talent, but because they stop looking forward. Every morning, reset your focus. Speak your goals out loud. Write them down again. Let your mind see them, your ears hear them, and your heart feel them. The repetition creates alignment. It tells your subconscious, this is where we're going. Don't let your vision become a someday dream. Bring it into your reality. Think about it when you wake up. Plan around it. Make decisions that serve it. Let it guide your priorities. When your vision becomes a part of your morning, your actions throughout the day automatically align with your purpose. You'll start recognizing opportunities that once looked invisible. You'll start walking with confidence that feels unshakable. Laziness can't survive in the presence of a burning vision. When you know what's waiting for you on the other side of consistency, you stop entertaining distractions. You stop negotiating with comfort. You realize that every morning is another step toward your future. That awareness alone gives you the strength to act with purpose and passion. So revisit your vision daily until it becomes impossible to forget. Keep it alive by feeding it with your focus and your faith. Remind yourself that your dream is not distant, it's developing. And every time you see it, speak it, and work toward it, you move closer to making it real. Vision is the antidote to laziness, the blueprint for discipline, and the reason you keep going when others quit. Keep your eyes on your vision every day, and one morning, you'll wake up living in it. Do the hardest thing first. Every morning gives you a choice to face your challenges or to flee from them. Most people spend their days running from discomfort, avoiding the very thing that could change their lives. They fill their mornings with easy tasks, small wins, and busy work because it feels productive. But there's a difference between activity and advancement. You don't grow from what's easy, you grow from what's uncomfortable. If you want to destroy laziness forever, make it your daily mission to confront the hardest thing first. The hardest task is usually the one that matters most. It's the one that moves you closer to your destiny, but also the one your mind resists. Your mind will always try to protect you from effort. It will whisper, do it later, you're not ready, or start with something simple. But every time you delay the difficult, you delay your destiny. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you train your body to serve your weakness instead of your will. Discipline begins when you stop negotiating with your tasks and start commanding your time. Doing the hardest thing first doesn't just build productivity, it builds identity. When you face difficulty early, you remind yourself who's in control. You silence fear, you silence doubt, and you prove to your mind that you're not a follower of feelings. That first act of courage sets the tone for everything that follows. It creates momentum, and momentum is a miracle force. Once you get moving, it becomes harder to stop. One disciplined action early in the day makes every other decision easier. Früh. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. When you choose to do the hardest thing first, you send a message to your subconscious that you are a finisher, not a procrastinator. And that message begins to shape your confidence. You start trusting yourself again. You start walking with a sense of strength that laziness can't touch. The moment you conquer the thing you once avoided, you begin to realize that most limitations were never real. They were just decisions you postponed. You'll notice that when you knock out the biggest challenge early, your energy increases, not decreases. Most people think hard work drains them, but avoiding hard work drains them even more. Procrastination is heavy. It weighs on your mind all day. It steals your peace, your focus, and your freedom. But when you face the hard thing and finish it, you walk lighter, you walk with authority, you feel in control. Because now, the hardest part of your day is already behind you. Every morning, look at your list, identify the one thing that scares you or stretches you the most, and tackle it immediately. Don't warm up with easy. Start with impact. Whether it's a project, a workout, a phone call, or a tough decision, face it head on. Do it before your emotions interfere, before doubt starts talking, before excuses have time to build a case. Because the longer you wait, the stronger laziness becomes. Mess. The people who master success aren't those who never feel resistance. They're the ones who face it faster. They wake up and run toward what others run from. They understand that pressure produces greatness and that the hardest thing is often the right thing. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't tiptoe around your destiny. Attack it. The moment you do the hardest thing first, you unlock the power to own the rest of your day. Laziness loses its grip the moment you decide to stop avoiding what challenges you most. The truth is, laziness isn't the enemy, indifference is. Every morning gives you a new opportunity to prove who's in control, your purpose or your procrastination. You don't destroy laziness in one day, you defeat it one decision at a time. It starts with commanding your morning before it commands you. It grows when you move before you think. It strengthens when you speak life into your day. Feed your mind before your body. Revisit your vision daily and face your hardest task first. Each of these choices builds a foundation of discipline that no emotion can shake. The person you're becoming is built in the unseen hours. When nobody's watching, when the bed feels warm, when comfort calls your name, that's where champions are made. Every time you rise when you could have rested, you're rewriting your future. Every time you speak power when you could have complained, you're reprogramming your destiny. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're proving that you were never lazy. You were just waiting for direction. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, don't look for motivation, look for movement. Don't wait for the perfect mood, create it. Don't let the day happen to you, command it, speak over it, move through it, and give your best to it. Because the way you start your morning is the way you shape your life. Laziness doesn't die because you shout at it. It dies because you outwork it. It dies because you outfocus it. It dies because you outdiscipline it. You are not meant to live tired, distracted, or average. You are meant to live intentional, energized, and unstoppable. So rise with purpose, walk with power, and end every day knowing you conquered yourself first. Because once you master your mornings, you'll master your life. And laziness will never have a place in your story again.